Ni hao, wishes Stephanie. The amount of boxes that I used as to make a makeshift tripod is very amusing to me. Welcome back to Changing Scripts. I am so low tech, it's ridiculous, which is crazy because I love technology. I just don't have the patience to use it quite in the way that I'm sure that you deserve. Okay, so this is just me being restless. I've decided, a friend of mine, and this does feed into this Burning Questions video, so hold on, I'm getting there. A friend of mine that I was talking to yesterday was talking about how she spent a day just making her master list of all the things that she always thinks about doing and have never gotten around to doing. And not just long-term things, but just things that she feels like she's been putting off. She just wanted to see them in one spot, and so she spent the day just every time something came to her, she just wrote it down on the list, and then on days after that, she would just go through and mark off things on the list. And the guilt of not doing things went away. And I thought, oh, I've started so many projects in the past 4 or 5 months I guess it's been about 5 months now, that, excuse me one second, I need some coffee. All right, that I've started to have guilt from the things that give me joy, and that sucks, and I hate that. So today I decided to start going through stuff, and I'm making this giant master list, which will probably be multiple pages, on all the things I've been wanting to do with those things, and then prioritize and start to just attack them. Also, keeping them offline keeps them in my face. This I can put literally on top of my computer, and I won't do anything at all online until I mark something off. I might have to open up my computer to do some of it. So the point is that I went through, I'm trying to get rid of some documents that I'm not using, some resources that I'm not using that served a purpose for a while, but I'm not using anymore, and a lot of notebooks. I suck at making notebooks, like language notebooks, carrying around notebooks, all those kinds of things. However, I do jot down things in millions of places. And I think what I have to do to fix this problem is to just have a folder in my Gmail for just ideas, language ideas, video ideas, that kind of thing, and just go through that, because I'm much more likely to go through that and to delete things there and look at things there on a regular basis than I am random notebooks that get stuck at the bottom of a book pile. However, having said, the reason why I'm trying to figure out how to transfer my bad notebook habits into good digital habits is because when I was going through one of my old orange notebooks with very cool, it's a very cool stationery item, but I stopped carrying it around. Anyway, I went through it and I picked out a few pages of things that I didn't want to throw out. And one of them was this burning question that I have had from the beginning of learning the word for stop, or at least what I thought was the word for stop. And I think this is one of those things where when you start with the basic components of Chinese and then you learn how they're actually used in words, I think this is one of those problems of getting stuck on what you thought was a word when it truly looks like it was just part of a word. And let me show you what I mean. This is a specific burning question. I will get to the burning question, but I need to explain the process. This is not Little Bunny Foo-Foo, that's this. This is just me saying the process is important. Okay, so what I thought was the word stop, and I'm gonna slowly turn you around here. So I thought this was the word for stop. And let me press play because I have forgotten how to say this.
G.
Where is the sound?
G. G. G.
G. Okay, so I thought that that was the word for sound. Sorry, for stop. And so I've been looking at stop signs, and I actually took some pictures of stop signs, much to the confusion of the security guard sitting right next to them, because who takes pictures of stop signs? I do. Literally in every country I go to. But this wasn't a, oh, this is a new script for me. This was a, why isn't Zh in this stop sign, right? Okay, so this is what stop signs, at least in this part of China that I live in, look like. And the back side of it is actually very uninteresting. That's the most important part. Let me see if I can put these side by side. That's probably a better way to have done this that I didn't do. Oh, and the whole point of the notebook is that this was a burning question that I had from months ago that I never quite got around to. I got around to taking the picture so I could show you an exact example of the stop signs I'm seeing, but I never got around to making this video. And it truly bugs me that I thought I knew the word, quote unquote, word for stop, but I don't see it on stop signs, which I think is one of the most common ways to see the word for stop, isn't it? Stop, don't go here, that kind of thing. Okay, here they are side by side. So you've got the stop sign in real life, and you've got what I thought was the word for stop. Now, I'm going to try to not shake too much while I do this, and show you when I actually look up in Google Translate the word for stop, it does show me both of them together. Can I repeat that? Let's get closer. Both of them together. And how do we say that? How do we say that?
Stop.
Okay, that's not the one I needed pronounced.
停止
Tingji, tingji. So, is this a matter of space? Are they not using the full word, tingji, because of space on the stop sign? That makes sense. Or is there a difference in meaning? Is it a don't do versus a literal physical stop? This is my burning question. Why is J, or is it G?
G
G. It is G. What? Okay, anyway, yes, it is G. Why is that just not used? Because that's one component, and it's super small, and it would easily fit on the actual physical stop sign. So why are they using the beginning of the word that might be stop instead of just the one that does mean stop? I guess maybe the question is, which one of these characters or components means stop? Is it the two characters that I showed you, the tingzi,
停止
tingji, G. I really want that to be a z. Never mind. Tingji, is that the word for stop, or is G the word for stop, or are both words for stop depending on the context? There, that's the question. Let me repeat it. The burning question is, which one is the word for stop? Let's just say in this context, which one is the word for stop? Because, well, in this context, it looks like ting is, and G isn't even there in the picture. So I'm assuming this is an abbreviation for the space that they have on a stop sign. So what's the deal? Is this a contextual thing because of space, or is one generally used as an abbreviation in most situations? If we're thinking of the context of a newspaper, let's do that since that's one of my goals. Think with your goal in mind, right? So if I'm reading an article on like bad habits, fine. I don't think I would actually be reading that, but no, let's think about some political thing where I'm reading about a country that stopped polluting into their waters. There we go. So if I'm thinking of that sentence, what is the stop in there? Is it G? Is it tingji? I'm saying that second vowel super wrong, so you're gonna have to compensate for my opinion and my tone there. So what would be the characters or components? What would that look like in Hansa? I guess that's my question. There are many questions. This is like burning questions times a million, because this has really frustrated me for a few months now. And I get the context. I mean, it's a red stop sign. Those are one of the universal symbols, and to be quite honest with you, I don't really need to know how to read them. It's really super apparent that it's stop. However, it does bring up the thing of what of the three characters or components that I showed you in Tingji, which ones are actually used when you talk about stopping a habit, stopping a moment, stopping... Oh, is it the... Okay. Is it the difference between telling someone to stop doing something versus you stop doing an action? I don't know. I'm kind of making up different contexts at this point. What do you know about these, about Tingji? Is that usually used in its full form that I showed you in the Google Translate, or is it usually used in one of the more abbreviated forms, either with the J or with the Ting? I know I can Google this, but it sticks much, much more when you guys who actually use the language let me know what you think and what you've experienced and what you've seen when you have read this or these characters or components. I'm forever going to struggle on what to call things because it's not letters, so not letters. Okay, thank you for listening to this Ramble Fest, and yeah. I have a few more burning questions that I found in that notebook, and I'm not throwing them out until the videos are made, so they're gonna have to transfer into a different digital file. So I ask you those later, but I don't want to ask them now because I don't want too many lingering, burning questions out there at the same time. So that's that. Thank you so much in advance for your comments, feedback, suggestions. Mostly I'm looking for your experiences in seeing this word stop in any form that you have seen it written around you, either in the wild, in a newspaper, in a book, in any written form. How is this thing actually used in written forms, and what does it depend on? Ha! That's the burning question. It's a long one. There's probably all kinds of punctuation in it, but since I'm speaking, I don't have to care about that. Okay, thank you very much, and more soon. 再见.